Welcome back to the range. Right, today I will be reviewing a number of different items, and that is a micro conversion kit. Now here in Southern Africa we call this a Ronni. It's become the sort of default generic name for a micro conversion kit. The Ronni was the original one, which was developed by the Israelis. Basically what the Ronni allows you to do is turn your pistol into a carbine, and will give you a lot better accuracy with that, and allows you also to fit a number of different optics. So you can put a little heads up on here, or a scope, or you can put torches and lasers on the side. It has 3 Picatinis here and so on. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you how to fit the pistol into this. Now it's not a generic product, so each of these will fit certain types of pistol. Okay, this particular one is for the Smith & Wesson, but if you want one from a Taurus, it'll be a different one, a Glock, it'll be a different one, and so on. Okay, so this is brand new, and we've just fitted the pistol into this to try it, and it's quite stiff at the moment, but I'd expect it to, as you take it in now, it'll loosen up a bit. So if you want to come over here, I will show you how to put it in. Okay, so we've made sure this is not loaded. Right, we undo this gate here, we put this in here like this, and we have to line it up with this, which is this here basically cycles the magazine. So once your pistol's in, you can pull that and it'll cycle the mag. So that has to be locked into that. And these are quite fiddly sometimes, depending on which gun it is. Sometimes they sit in nicely. That seems to have gone in nicely. Now the trigger guard fits into an inset groove in here. Okay, and so that slides into there, and then you have to push it in quite hard. Okay, then you lock this gate, and that's locked in, and then you test it to see if that's locked, which it is. In this case it is. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put some rounds in, and then we'll fire 10 rounds through with the Ronni and 10 rounds freehand, just the pistol, and we'll see, this is at 10 yards to start with, we'll see the difference in accuracy, and then we'll move back to 20 yards, which for me will be quite embarrassing, I think, because I'm not much of a pistol shot. Okay, this little heads up here, now maybe you can see the different optic there. So the different reticle, so that little red reticle, there's a plus and minus on either side of this. Now this is a vector optics heads up, and it's really, really nice. You can go plus, and you've got different reticles and also different brightnesses, and then you go minus on this side to dim it down. So this is heads up, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. This is polymer. This does have a folding stock like that, so you can basically a tiny little compact carbine. Boom, out you go. And away we go. Really, really cool, really, really nice. It has a hole here for you can put another magazine in there like that. There's a button there, press that, out comes your magazine. Okay, these typically are retailing $350 to $400, $450 in America. And as I say, there's a number of companies making them around the world. Great fun, actually. To have this on the range, and I think it'll really improve our shooting, so let's give it a go. Right, we've put the magazine in and we've got our ammunition in. To chamber a round, we pull this back and let it go, and that's now with the round chambered. Okay. Right, this has chambered open, so once the pistol is empty, the slide will hold back and you can then see the chamber, so we're good with that. Can drop the mag out, which is the standard release on the pistol. Okay, we're going to have a look at what we've done here. Now, right, with that Ronni and the scope, I haven't actually adjusted the red dot at all. We've just stuck it on and thrown it in here. So this is where we are here. Okay. To be honest, that's at 10 yards. it's not particularly impressive. I'm surprised I haven't got a better grouping like that. I'm going to try and shoot freehand now with this target over here, and we'll see the difference with the freehand and the Ronni. Obviously it takes a bit of getting used to, and as I say, the scope at the moment, the red dot is not adjusted to the center right now. So obviously it's shooting low, I'm aiming here, it's here. So that is my grouping. But I think that's quite wide actually. So let's give it a go freehand and see how we do. This heads up we're using on this is a vector optics. Now it's made in China, and obviously China has millions of different types of quality you can get, Apple iPhones being one of the sort of top quality products. And these are really good. They're quite expensive. We're retailing this at $200, but this is the 1:22 by 26. And it's a really nice, robust little scope. You can get these things for $30 now made in China, but they are not very good. That's being polite. So rather spend a little bit more money. Vector optics, we've used have had a few of these over the years. I must say they're excellent, really, really good. Okay, so we've just done the Ronni with the 10 shots. Now we're going to try freehand 10 shots and see how we do with that. Right, so we're going to fire the SD40 freehand. This is with a 40 caliber rounds, being an SD40, that's what it stands for. All right, this is our 10-yard marker, and we're going to freehand and then see how we can do. Okay, here we go. Okay, guns open and clear. Right, let's go and have a look. Right, so there's our 10 rounds, okay. The 40 has a lot more oomph than a 9mm and quite a kick on it, recoil. So there we are, that's with the 9mm freehand. Now if we come over to the Ronni, as I said earlier, this isn't, the sight is not set for here, so that's our grouping. You see a very, very significant difference. Look at that. That's like a 3 or 4 inch group, and this one all over the place. So that Ronni really does stabilize your shooting. And I think they're fantastic. They're really good fun. And it allows you basically to have 2 different types of firearm out of 1 firearm. I would thoroughly recommend getting one, and they're great fun to use. So we've just sighted in this little heads up here. And now we're shooting a relatively decent sort of 1 inch group. What's interesting about this, I fired a few rounds this. Well, firstly, for anyone who buys one, once you fire a few rounds, let's say you put 10 in, you fired 5, you drop the magazine out, remember, it's the same as applies to your pistol, there's going to be 1 in the chamber, and you can basically clear it just by using the slide there. Boom, no problem at all. One of the things I did notice is this lock here. This is meant to lock in the pistol. Okay, and there's 2 little red lugs, if we can see here, little marked lugs, and those basically slide forward and slide into position, and you can see when it's safe. What I've noticed though is because of the recoil of the pistol, what this is actually moving back. See that? That's like that, and then what happens is it opens. And I've noticed that that's happened 2 or 3 times just as I've been sighting in this weapon. So a bit of recoil and it opens. You have to push it forward and lock it, but the lock is not very, you can hear it. It doesn't take much to come back, and it opens, and then your pistol becomes loose within the carbine. So that is something to watch out for on these. Now, this one is from micro conversion kit from MCK, I think that is. There's lots on the market. There might be a better locking system on the market. I really don't know. But that, to me, seems to be a weak point of this particular one. What we're going to do is, now we've sighted this in, we're going to put 10 rounds downrange really quickly and see if we can get a slightly better grouping than the massive grouping we got earlier. Here we go. This is 10 rounds at 10 yards. And there it is. So this now has actually come open. it's moved back. The lug system doesn't work very well. So we have to bring that into place. Again, we'll bring that. Okay, the pistol's moved back, so we push the pistol forward, push that in and lock it forward. I'm not very impressed with that at all. That should not happen at all. Really shouldn't. Okay, here we go. Okay, gun is, and again, it's opened. So to try and minimize that, you can push, as you're holding this, you can push forward on the actual grip of your handgun to stop the recoil coming back. But it's still going to happen. And I must say that to me is very disappointing. It's just not solid enough locking in there. All right, so this is now empty. It's open. I'm going to drop the magazine out. Okay, let's go and see how we did. Well, there's a huge difference. So our first ones were down here in a sort of 2.5 inch group here. We've now sighted it in, and as you can see, that's 10 rounds in there, which is far, far better. I really like this sort of Ronni thing. Again, that where it opens up, where that catch undoes, I think is a weak point of this particular one. We'll try and get some more and review different ones with different locking systems. But that, I'd say, is an Achilles heel of this particular unit, and I must say, don't like that. Okay, anyway, not a bad grouping. I'm going to try some, a few in here, freehand, and see how we can compare to the two. You put 6 rounds down here, there's 5 there, 1 flyer, that was the first one. So there isn't a massive difference, but where you'll really see the difference is as you get further in a longer distance, and then the Ronni will really come into its own, which will make a huge difference, because remember, these bullets exponentially are spreading out, as are these. So with the Ronni, you know, be looking at that at 20 yards. With this, you'd be looking at sort of that at 20 yards. So it would make a massive difference, but really it comes into its own at a longer distance. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and we'll see you for the next one.